Hi, I'm Anne Barrett of Empowering Health, and today I'm going to record a balance that I'm doing on myself. This is something that I do regularly whenever challenges come up for me, because it's important for me to keep my health and well-being on track, as my business success and personal successes and relationship successes, financial successes. And today I'm going to do a balance on money. And because I've just noticed recently that talking about money makes me start to feel a bit nauseous. And I essentially go into freeze mode if someone throws up a figure at me of something that I'd like to purchase, such as an online course or a coaching service to help me in my business. And it's like a blank out. I can't make any decisions. And that's me going into freeze mode. Freeze mode is like once you go beyond fight and flight, you go into freeze. And then after that is fawn. And so I really feel as though I do need to do a balance around this, especially that anxious feeling, which then makes me feel nauseous. One of the reasons that we do feel nauseous when we feel anxious and when we go into the fight-flight mode is because once we, the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system are like on a seesaw scale, and so which is then activated by the I've forgotten what it's called. Oh my God, my mind's gone blank. The vagus nerve. And it's like a switch, which then transfers it from being balanced, your seesaw, to off balance. And then we have our sympathetic nervous system versus our parasympathetic nervous system. And our so the sympathetic nervous system is that fight-flight response. The parasympathetic nervous system relates to our reproductive system, our digestive system. And so it's almost like the whole system powers down because we're not actually meant to be digesting food or having babies when we're in that state of fight-flight, going back to primitive times when we're going out to fight the woolly mammoth, which is only meant to happen, maybe once a week, once a month. And instead, many of us are living in this state of fight, flight, freeze, or fawn over 90% of the time. There are statistics on that, but I won't reference them right now. And yes, and it's not good for the body to be in that state, because if you're in fight and flight, that means you've got adrenaline or cortisol coursing through your body constantly, and they're chemicals within the body, and they have an impact on our organs, firstly on our cells and our nervous system and our organs and our tendons as well. So sometimes cortisol is said to help to weaken tendons if it's been coursing through you for years and years and years. Now I'm going to start with kinesiology. So kinesiology is a combination of the science of anatomy and physiology combined with Chinese theories. And the Chinese theory side is what's really interesting to me anyway, and hopefully to you. And firstly, it starts with, I should have got my chart, the yin and yang symbol. And I can draw it for you. And yin and yang represents duality and balance in life. And it's the representation of the masculine and feminine energy, the sun, the moon, hot and cold. But primarily when all that's in balance, it's our energy source, our chi, and that's what it's also known as. So for kinesiology's sake, that sits in the center of what we call the triangle of health. And so one side of our triangle is the mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects of our self. The other side is physical and structural. And the third side is our biochemical. So biochemical is all those chemical reactions that are happening inside our body as a consequence of the foods we eat, the supplements and medications, perfumes, products we use, things that we're exposed to in our environment, like exhaust fumes and all those types of things, which then can throw off our biochemistry. But what that also does, if this is being thrown out, it throws our triangle off balance, and which could then have an on-flow effect to our mental, emotional, spiritual aspects and our physical, structural aspects, as well as reduce the amount of energy that we have. And so every kinesiology session is called a balance because it's about balancing out your triangle. And just as you take your car in for a service, it's great to do these types of things to balance your whole body. And this chart also is a great explanation as to why the techniques that we do in kinesiology don't always quite make sense, but it's because one thing affects the other. Like you might need a nutrition to support yourself nutritionally, like with a supplement, if you're deficient, in order to help what's going on mentally. And so, for example, a lot of people who are stuck with a lot of overthinking, especially having lots of strange thoughts at night time, may be deficient in vitamin B. So that's what's been coming up for a lot of my clients over time. And yes, so once you want more information about yin and yang, that's how we get to the Chinese 5-element theory. I won't go into the full theory. Why is this asking me? I'm just recording it. Of course, I'm still in my call. And the Chinese 5-element theory is a representation of yin and yang in more detail. I won't go into full detail, but just quickly, this represents the flow of life, and any aspect of your life can be overlaid onto this chart and will reveal a different energetic pattern. And when there's something going on for you, it will reveal where your blocks are. You know, people feel stuck, they feel blocked. It's because there's some aspect of being stuck in this. Coming back to the statement of what I'm working on today is money makes me sick, could relate to the stomach. However, is it in there? Is my blockness there? Block, I should say, the stuckness, or is it somewhere else? And that, so when there's like a muscle test myself to find out where my block is in this flow. And well, let's put it into wood because it's the start of spring, and today is the 9th of the 9th, which is quite a significant numerological number. And it's about the last things that you haven't actually dealt with coming up to the surface and needing to be dealt with. And so we're in spring with new renewal, time to renew. And so maybe I'm just making up at the time being to give you a story. My over energy may be here, but if there's an over energy in this flow, because energy is consistent, there's no actual breaks in this flow cycle. The opposite of a plus is a minus. And so maybe my minus is here. I'm only just predicting at the moment. But then the idea of the balance is to take the excess from where it is, give it back to where it belongs, so that I can feel fulfilled and content once again. Earth is also about being grounded. I don't feel grounded at the moment either with today's energy. And if we think about yellow representing possibly the solar plexus as well, being at the core of who you are, am I comfortable with who I am? These are all questions that this chart allows us to interpret and ask about ourselves as a way of getting to the true insights and the insights about what is underlying your symptoms. So I'm going to start firstly by checking the triangle of health aspects just with muscle testing. So because I'm muscle testing on myself, I just use my fingers. So it's a yes and no. I need to test that my physical muscles, my biochemical and my mental emotional triangular aspects are all fine. Then I do some pre-checks, checking my ionization. Okay, ionization first. So the pre-checks are to check that all my basic foundations are stable, so that the information I'm getting from my brain to my muscle is accurate. And at the moment, it's not. So if I went ahead and did a full balance, that means the information I may be getting from the balance may not be accurate. So it's important that we do pre-checks before starting the full balance. The pre-checks are basic foundations of health and well-being, and to help as a way of helping to keep us stable. I'm just going to get another piece of paper to keep writing my notes on. I'm still here, if you can see me. So first, I've got to balance my ionization. Ionization relates to the positive and negative ions that are in the air. And a great example of positive, when we've got too much positive charge, is when it's really hot weather and it gets really windy, and then everything we touch, we get electric shocks from. That's positive ions. And as Mother Nature always looks for balance, after the heat, like extreme heat and wind, we often get rain through, and the rain brings the negative ions, and then you feel great and comfortable and calm, and everything just feels clean. And that's why also sometimes for some people being near the water is really therapeutic, especially near the sea where the waves are crashing. That also helps with exposing us to negative ions to balance out if we've got an excess of positive. Now I'm going to just do my check of which nostril I need to balance. So breathing in, no, breathing out, yeah, and then breathing in that one and breathing out the other, no. Okay, so it's just my left nostril out. And the correction technique for me is to breathing in. So I'm breathing in from this is my left in case it's in reverse. Nice. I'm already feeling calmer. It's about breathing in more negative ions for me. It's testing how it went, and I've corrected that out. Do I need to do ionization breathing for homework? No, I don't. Okay. So next. So it could be that I'm got too many, well, I haven't got enough negative ions. So that's also like the feminine versus the masculine, and that the masculine is allowing to dominate. And that's why I have this worry and anxiety going on as well from my gut. Remember also there's a 3 brain theory. So there's the physical brain, the heart brain, and the gut brain. And science has found that the gut does talk to the brain more often than the brain talks to the gut. So I could have actually an imbalance within my digestive system that's contributing to these feelings. But anyway, let's beside the point. Let's just going to continue with now brain switching, the balance is called. So up, down, left to right, back to front, they're all fine. Central meridian line is weak. Interesting. Again, that's the feminine. The feminine. So central and governing sit in the center of this cycle. This is central and governing here. And this is like the spine that holds yin and yang together. And so those two have to be strong in order. The central meridian lines runs up the center line of the body from the groin, and meridians are energy lines. When you start to stumble over your words such as this, and I'm also getting croaky in my throat, it's a sign that this is actually out of balance and is a challenge for my body to actually have my central meridian working optimally. So I'm running it in the direction of flow. Sorry, I burp when there's energy flowing. And I'm feeling the stagnation around my lower intestines and around my solar plexus. Ugh, that's making me feel sick in itself, just imagining. It's like Reiki, if any of you have experienced Reiki. Ow, now it's actually starting to hurt. It's like a physical, like muscular pain as well. Just as I'm clearing, like all I'm doing is energetically shifting and clearing this energy out of my middle. Like you've been witnessing what I've been doing. And a simple awareness around my central meridian has caused all these symptoms to come to the surface. Stuckness around here, stumbling over my words, and a physical pain, which none of which were there when I first started. I can still feel the vibration in my throat, my vocal cords. What goes on with our throat is actually what you hear from me, the sounds that come from my voice are a representation of what's actually happening also with our autonomic nervous system. Maybe part of my anxiety is also recording this as a video for you today. And oh my God, there's so much. It's not as though I haven't spent time out in nature. Central meridian is the feminine flow, but it's also about our ability to be centered and grounded, confident and assured within who we are, and the ability to listen with our heart as opposed to listening with the mind, and having that heart brain coherence, which is really important, which I've spoken about in some of my blogs in over the last month particularly. It's going to do figure eights now over this area. figure eight symbol in kinesiology is like a first aid, energetic balance. And I'm only at the very beginning. I'm only doing pre-checks. I'm not even doing my balance. Whew. And I'm already feeling very significant symptoms just by bringing awareness to my central meridian, and that's out of balance. Sorry. Apologize for the burping. I'll just put my phone on silent. Mm. Okay, is that enough? Nice. Whew. Okay, so checking my hydration, checking my life energy. Life energy is low as well. Life energy relates to our thymus energy in this sense. And the thymus is a regulator of everything that our heart doesn't regulate. And it's like how much life energy do we have to be able to move towards our goals and be on purpose? And so I need to find out how many thymus thumps I need to do. Just one. Okay. And I hold my fingers like so to represent the 5 elements. And this is an acu hold, like acupressure hold. And I just thump once on my sternum as a way of getting the vibration through. Different people, me, different times will need different quantities of this thymus thump, but it's essentially to help bring the vibration of my thymus back into alignment. Okay. Because we are energy and vibrational beings, and it's that vibration of every cell that creates our physical self and all our organs. And but also cells are constantly spinning and rotating. Our nervous system is constantly active. That's on another electrical frequency, and we are vibrational beings. But if we think about that, that means that, as you know, energy can change. You can turn your light on and off. You can turn your stove on and off. You can generate heat with electricity. And just as you can change those things, you can start to heal yourself through changing your vibrations and your frequencies. So not just with kinesiology as an ancient form of technique. Not kinesiology is quite a new modality, but using the Chinese theories, acupressure, and all those other things related with the foods you eat. As well as I use the AO scanner technology, because that is literally just working with frequencies and is very effective. And I can also leave it aside, the frequencies be running, and I could be doing something else. Although it's not optimal, it's better to sit down and experience it and calm down. Central meridian, I have to remember. I don't have to keep doing things. I can sit and relax. Okay, and next is, centering and grounding. So my gates, my cloacals, my hyoid is out of alignment. This is the last of the pre-checks. The hyoid bone sits in our neck, and we can push it from side to side. It isn't held in place by any other bones. It's just floating there, held by muscles. And these muscles come from the jawline and they come from the clavicle. So either through it or just to that point. And because this is just a quick fix, all I have to do is work with all the muscles that are around here. I don't need to notice which specific muscle is involved by doing a technique called lengthen to strengthen, which is like, say, a reverse pinch, how you make your mobile pictures bigger on your mobile phone. So and just working with every muscle around the hyoid bone, helping to strengthen it in order to pull the hyoid bone into alignment. The hyoid bone acts as our internal gyroscope, and it has proprioceptors on it and communicates with our brain in regards to our position within our world. So if this is out of alignment, the metaphor is we could be misperceiving our position within our world. So how does that relate to finances and money? It could be that I'm worrying unnecessarily. Okay, lovely. Now, when I have a client, I check on willingness statements, but I'm going to check, do I need to do my willingness statements today? No. So I am 100% willing on all levels and dimensions. Thank you. Then, are there any sabotages I need to clear first, or any stress statements I need to clear? And that's a no on both those counts. Now I'm moving because what I'm doing is actually I'm standing up while I'm doing this. I have a stand-up desk to allow for energetic alignment and flow. However, the reason I'm moving is because I am clicking my hips together as a way of gathering data as I go. Because we are energy beings, like our frequencies are, when they're optimal, are meant to be crossing over like a DNA strand that passes through our major joints. Our hips are a great place for me to store the data that I'm gathering. So the information that I'm collecting as I'm going through my checklist, I'm gathering. So it's like writing a computer program. So the techniques that I do are specific to that information that I've gathered for me. So that's how I work with clients. Is so my table's here next to me that my clients sit on or lie on, and so I'll be gathering information as we go, the emotions involved, for example, that positive and negative, where that energetic block is. And so that all my information I'm storing in my hips, that's a bigger circuit breaker, circuit storer. And so that when we do the techniques, it's still relevant to just that person and that information and what's coming up for them today. Now I say my goal statement. So if I'm working with, for example, money makes me sick, we're not meant to use negative things because I don't want to infuse that. So I have to write it as a positive. And so how do I want to feel about money? So opposite sick is healthy. So, and I want an abundance. So I'm going to say, and you meant to do it as an I am statement, as a statement that, so you've already achieved it, but I can't think of that right now. So I'm going to write something else which may help bring them the flow. Because, once you start writing something, then the other awarenesses and insights come because you've got one thing in your mind. Getting it out into paper helps clear the way for something else to come to the surface. So I'm saying an abundance of money is healthy. I think that's a great opposite to a feeling of victimization and scarcity, which, sickness, money is sick, makes me sick, it would relate to. So I'm just going to write those words as well, scarcity and lack. Is it I am abundantly wealthy? No. I am comfortable being, yeah. I am safe. No, I am comfortable. I am comfortable. Is it content? No, it's definitely comfortable. Because I want to feel comfortable and content in a sense. I am comfortable with my, because you're writing it as though you've already achieved it, abundance of wealth. Because wealth could relate to not just money, but health, positive relationships, all those good things. And because abundance is not just about money, it's about abundance of all the great things that we have to be grateful for. And so muscle testing is helping me guide the words to use for my goal statement. And everyone is wealth, but it's like wealth in all aspects of life. So I'm just going to put that goal in circuit now, indicated change. So I am comfortable with my abundance of wealth. And that's an unlock. So at the moment, my body is indicating that statement is a stress. So I'm not in energetic alignment with achieving that goal at this present time. So, is this the best goal for my highest good now? Are these the correct words for the goal now? Do I need to add anything or delete anything? Great. Okay. And do I need to do any other pre-checks? And I go straight to the abbreviated version. Lovely. So I'm just kind of now, because I'm just cutting it short, I'm not doing a full 14 muscle assessment, which a lot of kinesiologists would do, because I'm just doing this balance on myself. It's less than easy to start balancing each of my muscles that represent each of the elements to reveal where positive and negative block things are within my 5 elements. So I'm just going to do the top lines, the primary energetic relationship that I need to be focusing on today. So I'm looking for where's firstly my over energy. Central governing fire. It is earth, spleen, it's in stomach. So it's the opposite to what the example I gave at the very beginning. So my plus is stomach, and where's that stealing its energy from? Central governing fire. So I'm not meant to include these, is there? Fire, earth, metal, water is where my bladder, and specifically the kidney, is where my under energy is. So in this context, my over energy is in earth, my under energy is in water. And earth tries to control water. So in Chinese theory, we have 2 halves. Firstly, like the yin and the yang, this is a partnership. When one feeds into the next, it's a parent to child energetic, not literal energetic, feeding and nurturing relationship. And when it skips one, as it's doing in this context, still in that flow cycle, it's a grandparent to grandchild relationship, which is called a controlling relationship. And so earth is trying to control water. So earth, for example, in the literal sense, would build a dam or channels in order for the water to go through or stop it from flowing. Water, psoas muscles are on the kidney meridian, which is what's relevant for me specifically, and is the emotions of anxiety and phobias and fears, and having to be resourceful and always feeling you have to be on top of things. Like, so for a lot of people, it's like, oh, you have to keep pushing, despite you may be feeling tired. And that's how I just interpret having to always be on top of things. There's having to be cautious. Indecisions, as I described earlier, is like when I get highly anxious, I go into freeze mode and I can't make a decision. So there's indecisions. I can't think clearly, because also as part of that fight-flight response, our front brain switches off. And because we're only meant to be responding with a primitive mind, and so that we just react in those states of when we perceive that we're not safe, in order to keep ourselves safe. And we've also got insecurities in there as well. So that's where my under energy is today. So do I have permission to balance this? Awesome. Now, let's start with the techniques. Firstly, let's go. Oh, sorry, I haven't even got my overall emotion that's involved. So where's my emotion coming from? 5 elements. It's coming from the amygdala chart. So while I've only shown you this chart, we also work with another chart in kinesiology perspective, and it's called the amygdala chart. So I'm just going to put amygdala mode in circuit. Amygdala is the very first part of the brain that develops when we're in utero, so when you're being conceived, and it holds memories from that time. These are also our fight-flight response emotions, so the ones that are hardwired or really deeply buried or really long held, all those things combined. And I'm just going to find I'm setting back up my umbrella story at the moment to find what is the overall emotion involved with this balancing technique today, and this goal statement. Everything comes back to the goal. So I'm comfortable with my abundance of wealth. Okay, discuss fear, qualm, anxiety, concern, edginess, dread. So essentially, my subconscious mind dreads me being financially wealthy, abundantly wealthy. Whew, that's not a good way to be, is it? Because your subconscious mind is designed to keep you safe, keep you alive. And, sometimes we perceive that people that are wealthy are targets for people. So, we see that in movies. And subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. And if I have been, I have seen movies over time, but I don't know where this programming's come from. It could be from my parents as well, in their programming, or things that they've instilled in me. Or I could have just picked it up over time, just because we see all these messages, and we see wealthy people dying, like recently off the coast of Italy, people with the beautiful boat, their boat sunk. It's like, that lifestyle of having wealth and an abundance can lead to death. So just seeing those types of things starts to sometimes program your mind to believe that these are the consequences of living a wealthy lifestyle. And now let's see what balancing techniques I have to do. Indicate change. Do I have permission to work with this goal statement? And is the balance today from the digital database? Great. Digital database is because we're working with fingers, but because I'm muscle testing for myself, I'm just saying it out aloud. And I literally do work with our kinesiology database, which is on my iPad. And these are all the finger modes, and it's like our fingers are like filing cabinets, so just like mudras help with different energetic flows. This also helps with communicating to me where I need to go and to what balance to do, because our subconscious mind knows how to help us heal, because all healing is self-healing. I'm not a doctor. I don't treat, diagnose, prescribe. Use muscle testing to talk to your body and find out what is for your well-being, what's not for your well-being, what is a stress, what's not a stress, and what it is that is needed for support. And so I'm just going to find out what technique I need to do. So I'm just imagining that I'm going like so: electrical, emotional, personal ecology. And then side 1, side 2, side 3. So electrical, emotional, personal ecology, side 1, side 2, side 3. Helps me, so I've got on that wrong. The 4, 5, so I start from 6s. 6, 6.5, 6.5A, 6.5B relates to language itself. Well, we already know that. That was my original statement. Lifestyle language, this balance is called. So what is it that I'm saying about money? Yeah, so of course, I was just muscle tested to ask, is it what I said earlier, money makes me sick? Okay. So the life energy on, thank you, this goal at the moment, this balance, above 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, above 5, 6, 7. So I'm at 6% life energy. And so we want to be optimally at 100% life energy when we are working with anything. And I'm only at 6% in order to be able to change my language around. So we already know the key statement. Do I need to find any other statements? I do have reference books as well that I could, if there was something that I wasn't aware of. But I was already journaling yesterday. I worked quite a lot on identifying what it was that was coming up for me. Then it says, find the involved phrase. Yep. Find the emotion involved specifically for this balance. And it's the 5-element flow. So according to Chinese theory, emotions get assigned to different organs as well. And so if emotions left suppressed over the years are like layering up, sometimes we forget consciously what we have suppressed over the years, but your subconscious mind remembers everything. And so it's trying to constantly keep you in a state of balance and harmony to keep you safe, keep you alive. However, if we've forgotten about those things, it's trying to help you, but you're not helping yourself. So by bringing conscious awareness to it in this context, for example, or with the ego scanner, which is another tool, scans your voice to give you data on what frequencies are out of balance against, and compares it against an octave of music. It then gives you a report of those emotions that are out of frequency, especially when you can't do muscle testing. I'm just finding now what emotion is relevant. What have I been suppressing over all these years? Because the overall balance is also from amygdala. So amygdala means I've had this for a very, very long time, and I may not even be aware of that actual word. Central governing. Embarrassment. Unsupported is the emotion. So there must be some sense of not feeling supported. Is it financially supported, emotionally supported, nutritionally supported? Does my body support me? So in all those aspects, let's see, self to self, self to others, others to self, others to others, self to life circumstances. So we check how that emotion relates to us as well. And this context means I don't feel supported by life in general. And it could be that family history, because my parents were refugees and they were displaced from their country of origin in Estonia and had to live in a state of vigilance. So for a lot of their developmental years, they never actually had stable foundations. They never had a stable home because they had to, worry that someone was going to come and take them or kill them, and they got shipped. Like they had to leave their country for another country, lived in displaced persons camps, were moved around from place to place, and then eventually separately, because dad was on his own as a child, mum was with her family, her brother and her parents, and then they came to Australia. But even then on the ships, mum's ship was bombed, for example, and then they were meant to find a home in Adelaide, but then the ships didn't even make it to Adelaide. Anyway, it's a long story, but yes, these are all things which meant that their programming wouldn't have let them feel stable and supported by life. And so if that was their neurology, then it stands to reason that I may have also been born with that neurology and that sense of not ever being supported by life. And then like attracts like. And so what I'm vibrating at, I attract more of. So if I'm vibrating at that frequency of life not supporting me, then I keep attracting more of that into my life. And that's what I manifest into this world. And instead, I need to change my vibration to being one of being supported by life. I am supported. Mm-hmm. So what is life? Life could be like life oxygen, life, my physical self, life, the roof over my head, life, social connections, relationships, all those things are life-giving. And but for me, it's all those encompassed, because my parents would have surely had scarcity even in food, for example. I know that my dad didn't get the nourishment that he needed when he was young, as well as then not getting the love from his mum because he was separated from her around age 7 and essentially orphaned by war. And so there's a lot of things going on. Okay, I won't continue that story. So I need to continue with this balance for me. But now I know that this could be possibly where this patterning has come from. And if I hold, so I should have been holding my frontal occipital points like so as I was talking about this, to help bring blood flow and awareness to this part of the brain. This is the part which helps us with our logical thinking, our creative thinking, instead of being stuck in the primitive mind, which is where I keep going whenever I'm thinking about money. So instead, I am supported by life. And I'm just going to say it a couple more times. I am supported by life. I am supported by life. It's good to repeat statements because we have our own filter systems that have developed over the years, and it's our filtration system that stops all the billions of bits of information that are floating around us at any one time getting into our head. Like, sorry, I forgot the number right now, but it's only a small portion that actually gets into our brain of what we're actually exposed to every day. And so if we repeat a statement 3 times, this is what I learned in my hypnotherapy and mindset work, is that one of those should at least get through our filters. But I am supported by life. I am supported by life. It's okay to be supported by life. It's okay to be supported. It's okay to be financially abundant. It's okay to be wealthy. It's okay to be abundantly wealthy. It's okay to be abundantly wealthy. I am safe to be abundantly wealthy. I am safe to be abundantly wealthy. I am safe to be abundantly wealthy. Thank you. Is there anything more I need to do for that one? No. Nice. So let's check my life energy now on this, which was previously 6%. Above 6, above 10, above 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, above 70, above 80, above 75, 6. We're at 76%. So it's better than 6%, isn't it? Okay. Is there another statement that I need to do in order to continue? Do I need to do something else to help me get to 100%? Do I need to continue as another balance? No. Can I use an energetic spray? Nice. And which of my sprays? From Indicator Change, Alchemy of Healing, one of the resonant essence sprays. I have them in columns on my shelf for ease. So column 1, 2, 3, and then which row? 1, 2. Okay, I'm just going to find which spray that is and bring it back. It's just over here. I'm using the resonant essence spray. So these sprays were created by two kinesiologists who were a year ahead of me at my school, and I essentially describe these as a kinesiology balance in a bottle. Highly recommend them. They're really effective. They have color, light, sound frequencies collected from like different products are collected from, and the energy is collected from different parts of the world. Like there's this amazing story behind them all, and you can purchase these on their website. I don't stock them because they do have an expiry date. I have nowhere to keep them, and so it's just www.resonantessences.com. Anyway, so each product has its own affirmation and meditation that goes with it. The purposes of my balance, to help me to get to 100%, my body's asked me to use this particular spray, which is cleanse and protect. So cleansing is about clearing out what's no longer serving us and protecting us. Then so when you take out something negative, when you learn, if you've done Reiki, if you take out negative energy, you need to quickly infuse it with positive energy so that nothing else gets into there. But if my sense is dread of being abundantly wealthy, then this is like building an energetic shield to help protect me when I am abundantly wealthy. So this is spray this. I'm going to spray it over my stomach area, which is where a lot of that stagnation was earlier, and then spraying it around me and behind me. I'm going to do lots of this. Okay. And read then the affirmation that goes with this particular spray. On the back of every product, it says what it's for, and it provides an affirmation and tells you what to do. So the affirmation is activating divine frequency of white light protection to cleanse and clear this being and this space, physically, energetically, and spiritually, in your aura and the field of co-creation, surrounding us all as we raise the vibration. Breathing in all those smells so that it can go into the body, find its way wherever it needs to go. I feel like I need another squirt. And I'm going to say that 2 more times. Remember, it takes that long to get through sometimes. Activating divine frequencies of white light protection to cleanse and clear this being and this space, physically, energetically, and spiritually, in your aura and the field of co-creation, surrounding us all as we raise our vibration. Breathing in and really feeling all those things and the cells activating, raising in vibration. Activating divine frequencies of white light protection to cleanse and clear this being and this space, physically, energetically, and spiritually. Just reading. In your aura and the field of co-creation, surrounding us all as we raise our vibration. Thank you. I say thank you to my higher self for guiding me and helping me through this process. Let's write down cleanse and protect spray. Just keeping a record. Now I've already filled up her one page. I need to get myself another page. Just repurposing paper. That was page 1. Page 2. Where am I going next? Highlight my goal statement so I can see it with ease when I need it. And now where are we going? Kim's going to know, is there another balance to be done? Is it from the digital database? And they'll show an order of priority indicator change. Electrical, emotional. The next is emotional. Side 1, 2, 3, starting from 6s again. 6, 6.5, 7, 7A, 7B. Cranial sacral therapy has come up. Now, kinesiology does work with our cranials and our alignment. However, this particular technique I haven't trained in. So essentially what I do then is put the mode in the circuit, look for the emotion involved, central governing fire, earth, spleen, stomach, top, bottom. It's the emotion of doubt. So self to self, self to others. Others specific, others in general. That's interesting. Okay. And so I'm doubting others. So I could be doubting the people that are potential clients, for example, or that clients that I may be doubting that clients will be drawn to me, or people that have not been to me before may not be drawn to me for some reason. Because like even this morning, I was thinking about another kinesiologist who has become a finalist in an awards category, and my business hasn't. It was based on number of votes, and so then I start to compare myself. It's like, well, why did she get the votes, and why didn't I get the votes? And that's a sense of lack, and also scarcity, and comparing and doubting myself. It's like, why is she more popular? It's like coming back to school days, and I certainly wasn't the popular kid at school. I was bullied a lot, and yeah, so then those fears and doubts and questions start to arise. And yeah, so because I don't actually have this balance within my database, and I've got that in circuit now, and I'm going to then digital database, to find another balance to do for that. So digital database, electrical, emotional, personal ecology. So that related to a physical thing. So the cranial and the sacral area, our hips to our cranials, because there's an alignment. So you'd know if one hip's out, then it could distort your whole spine and then have an impact on our cranial alignment. Same with the other way around. If our head is screwed up, distorted in some way, or it's got sutures too wide, too tight, it can have an impact then with a non-flow effect down the body as well. And so my physical self, in a sense, could not be supporting me. I do have scoliosis, so that is, in one sense, could be why, representing even this goal statement today. Like, have I got scoliosis because I don't feel supported by life? And we don't want our spine to be out of alignment, because if you think about the nerve endings that come out of your spine, if your spine is not in alignment, it means that the information coming out of the nerves may be distorted by compression, or the organs themselves be impacted and not work optimally, because the endings are coming out that have been compressed because of a misalignment. And we also energetically want to be in alignment flow, to be able to connect with our higher selves, to be able to receive and channel information, to be able to ground, all those things. So going to emotional next. Side 1. Ones. Oh, balance 1. Okay. This balance. This is also frontal occipital holding. However, I've got 20 techniques to choose from. So emotional 1A. And which one are we doing? Indicate change. 1 to 5. 1 to number 3. It's the TV video rewrite. If you've ever watched any of Paul McKenna's YouTube videos, he's a hypnotherapist and mindset coach. Or if you've been to anyone that's done practices NLP, such as myself, there's a process called this TV video rewrite. But we also do it within kinesiology. I went on to study all these extra subjects because I wanted to learn more about these techniques and how it is that it works. So essentially, I need to rewrite my life visually. I I'll explain it, but then I'll do the exercise later because otherwise we'll be here forever. And so we then visualize, like on a TV. Firstly, so the TV aspect is about disconnecting ourselves. It's like we're watching a movie about us, a movie about our life, or a TV program. So you literally imagine a box, imagine your old TV. The first thing that's coming up for me is my childhood TV, like our very first TV. I was black and white. And because somebody posted a picture from my childhood recently onto their social media page, just explaining, there's an example to her children. It's like what we used to do when we were younger as a way of entertaining ourselves. And my TV was in the background, my old TV. And so I'm just like, the first image that's come up. And so it's like, for me, I want to imagine myself now, my life around money, what it is at the moment, and then putting that aside. So, but using all five senses, it's like in that image, what does that Anne see? Who's there with her? Like, what does she see? What else does she see? What does she feel? What does she smell? What does she taste? What are the colors there? And just putting all those things into that image and then setting that aside. Then we create a new TV program, the one where I am, I have an abundance. I'm comfortable with my abundance of wealth. And what does that look like? And so, yeah, again, using all five senses, two images. So, but this, I'm just looking at that one. Then we want to put more intensity into that new image. But this process is called about rewriting. So it's like rewrite. We had the old script, and now we have a new script. And there's a couple of versions of doing this. It's like, imagine the old VHS tapes. So you play one out and then you rewind, play it out, rewind. Keep imagining that you can keep rewinding, pressing the rewind button. But instead, we want to replace the old with the new, because my life has been all about looping back to old ways of thinking, old ways of feeling. This is why it's really important, because we get addicted essentially to those chemicals that our body creates around, in this case, money. And it's kept us safe. It's kept me, dread's been the emotion. So my subconscious mind dreading being abundantly wealthy. And instead, we want to be comfortable with our wealth. I am comfortable with my abundance of wealth. And that's my new vision. And so that's the program that I'm going to do a rewrite around. So what does that Anne look like? And what is she wearing? What are people saying to her? What lifestyle is she living? And it's amazing. Like, it's also why vision boards work as well, because that's like almost like your creative TV rewriting. That's the vision of your new life, my new life. And just getting a sense of what that really feels like, and then entering into that TV show so that you are that and that you've been written the program for as well. Okay, do I need to do anything more so I can continue? Nice. Okay, so I'll just put a star next to that for myself to remind myself to come back to that and practice doing that. I like listening to guided meditation, so I might listen to a recording that I have around that so that I can better vision it and be in it rather than recording for this as well. Because otherwise I'd be here with my eyes closed for who knows how long. What's the next technique I need to do? Digital database, electrical, emotional, personal ecology. Oh, I didn't check on the emotion. Yeah, doubt. And so, yeah, that's testing strong now. Personal ecology, side 1, 2, side 3, 6, 6.5, 6.5, A. Hmm, interesting. I personally actually haven't had this balance come up in all the years that I've been practicing, which is like almost over 10 years. I've never had this balance come up for myself except when we were learning. Um, and so this is called lifestyle personal. Last time I did lifestyle language. This is now lifestyle personal. The need for lifestyle change can be the most powerful awareness that you can teach some people. Positive outworking of change in the now will have dramatic effects. And this also relates back to the previous balance of doing my positive rewrite of my new self. What did that include? And I know travel included one of those things, doing active exercising regularly, but outdoors more so, because I'm doing my exercise at nighttime or indoors, doing reformer Pilates. But I think I'd like to be more in the great outdoors. Just as, let's see, so evaluation, check factors involved. There's letters A to M, and I'll just first find how many on last lock. So I need to find 2 factors. So indicator change A, B. B is I need more time for spiritual awareness and growth. And that brings me back also to Central Meridian, which I, was really weak and had a lot of angst about. And Central Meridian allows you to be connected and take time for that spiritual awareness and growth. C, D, E, F. And F is work that is satisfying and rewarding. And you might say, isn't the work that you're doing satisfying and rewarding? But at the moment, it's still not rewarding me financially the way that I need to be and should have been by now. And yes, and not financially satisfying. So in other ways, I am giving, like I spend 7 days a week working with the business. 3 of those days are with clients. The rest of the time, I'm literally doing administration and like doing the marketing, social posts, commenting on others. It's just, there is so much work just to keep my presence up there. And yeah, if I was spending this much time in a paid job, I'd be earning more money, I'd hope. And but I need to be earning more money from my business. And maybe it's time for change, time for creating more online content, mostly. Like, these are all options. It's like I don't physically maybe have the energy, or maybe if I did connect more into my spiritual awareness and growth, I would have the energy, more energy to give, because that's also an aspect of abundance. I need more energy to be able to see more clients in order to better support myself and to pay my mortgage. This is where we're all coming back to. Then finding the overall emotion now on this balance, now that I have the awareness. It's coming from a amygdala chart again. Disgust, fear, anger, fury, wrath, hostility. Interesting. Self to self, self to others, others to self. See, there's a fear of others being hostile towards me if I was getting more money from my business, for example. Okay, because this, the statement related specifically to work. And we see a lot of people getting trolled, abused and judged. And but there is also, of course, the opposite of people that do value the work that people do and are supportive and encouraging and have an equal share of exchange as well. Okay, let's open the balance. So in context of this, need to FO hold and visualize myself making the change. Well, I need to reflect on this a bit more. So give me a second. Is it about doing what I'm doing and just changing the energy vibe? Okay, what's that I can do? And then I'll shift my energy because, what is it I've been putting out? I've been putting out to this dread all this time, and instead it's I need to do the opposite and being comfortable with being being abundantly wealthy. Thank you. And knowing that I am unconditionally accepted. Nice. So for me, because I do a lot of this practice, like it's quite a quick shift. And as you heard the burping going on, I hope you heard the burping. That's the energetic shift about just bringing those awarenesses to surface. For other people, it might take a bit longer. I have some clients that the awarenesses don't come to the surface until even the week before they're due to come back for a balance, or even while they're driving to their next session with me, because the body does sometimes needs time because it's like working through the layers of an onion. And while one thing clears, another comes to the surface and another comes to the surface. And sometimes that awareness might be buried quite deep. As I said, I was journaling yesterday already. So my body already started the process towards today's balance and the understandings and awarenesses. And in the lifestyle personal, it's like making time for that spiritual awareness and growth. But I felt like I've been doing so much admin that I haven't had time to do that as much because my priority, my mind gets distracted. It's like, oh, but I've got to do this, I've got to do that. And yeah, so I need to just come back and relax and sit and with my heart coherence and ask my heart what it is and resonate out what it is that I want to achieve, my goal statement. And then my work will become more satisfying and rewarding in that sense, attracting the right people, which I already do. And so it's one step of the way. And the other, though, is about feeling safe to be abundantly wealthy as well. Anything else I need to know? Can I move forward? Okay. Is there another balance to be done today? There is. Digital database, electrical, emotional, personal ecology again. I feel like we're shifting back and forth here. So side 1. 1's 1.5, 2's 2A, 2B. This is contact reflexes, Versendaal. Dr. Dick Versendaal developed contact reflex analysis, CRA technique, as a method of analysing the body's structural, physical, and nutritional needs. CRA is not a method of diagnosis. It uses 9 major body reflexes to accurately determine the root cause of a health problem. Interestingly, let's see. I don't recall that. Oh, I see. It's reflexes. Okay. So there's a list of the different reflexes. So the 9 major reflexes, and then also some other ones too. I'll find out which ones. The 9, no. The other 2, no. Infections and non-infection reflexes, yes. Interesting. The gut reflex. Okay. Ow. So again, just saying that is bringing up pain in my digestive system through here. And just as when I was working with the central meridian earlier, and because my stomach meridian at the very beginning is where my over energy is in here. And now it's the gut reflexes that I need to work with. Oops, hang on, go back. There's a link. I'm hoping that it will actually show me. No. Well, my database has a link supposedly to the reflex points, but that website doesn't seem to be there anymore. I'm getting looks like this domain isn't connected to the website anymore, which is a shame. Yeah. Okay, I don't know exactly which the gut. Ow. And again, just my body's saying, I'm here, I need to be worked on. Well, I'm going to work on those 2 points that keep hurting. However, I'm just going to maybe ask as an alternative, can I work with a stomach meridian point? No. Do I need to work with the opposite kidney meridian points? No. Am I going to find points? No, I'm not going to find points. Okay. Do I need to find? I need to Google them. So bear with me. I'm not going to share my screen. I'll just, oh, hang on. I might use it on my phone so that I'm not altering what's up here. Let's go to here, enter, cut, reflex points. Okay, 5 acupressure points for gas, bloating, and stomach pain. Okay, so that's on healthline.com. Thank you. There are 30. Just scanning down. Okay, and I'll just muscle test which of the 5 I need, or how many. Just one. And then indicate change. Number 1, number 2 I need. Number 2 is San Yin Jiao, spleen 6. Oops, I'm staying in the call. Thank you. I'm recording this on Google Meetings, and it keeps asking me if I'm still here because I'm in the meeting on my own while I'm recording. And it's also known as spleen 6. There we go. And it's on the just above the ankle. And on my left side, on my right leg, I need to do. So left and right side also tells us something. I'll just get my leg up on my table while I do this point. I'll just show you also, if you can see that point. That's where I'm rubbing at the moment. And for 2 to 3 minutes. So we know that we have our right brain and our left brain. Our right brain is our creative mind. Our left brain is our analytical mind. And we have a crossover point around our eyebrows. That's the easiest way to remember it. Ow, now that spleen point's starting to hurt. It means it's active. And so I'm working on the right side of the body, which means left. So it could relate to that masculine energy, like I've been letting that worry and that dread of all those things in the kidney element that I said earlier, of its emotions, to dominate because my central meridian hasn't been strong enough to balance that out. It could relate to a male in my life. Money could be a masculine energy. I'm not sure. Yes, don't quote me on that one, but it might be more of a masculine type thing. But yeah, so there's masculine, we all have masculine and feminine energy within us. Men have feminine energy, women have masculine energy also, but it's about duality and having balance in all areas. And so this is indicating that it's something to do with that side. Or is it my dad's programming? You know, so earlier on I mentioned that I could have taken on this programming from my parents, but maybe most of it came from my father, for example. It's another example of why. And here goes my voice again. So it might be very relevant where this programming has come from. He was the one that was orphaned, and always taught me it wasn't safe to be seen, that you didn't need money, because if you had money, people would see you and then they'd come and steal from you or try and kill you. But that's what happened where he was. So to do this for a bit more than that amount of time, so I can still feel it. Oh. Just going to write that. That's better. And so this is all helping me with my rewrite of my future as well, because I can wipe the slate clean of that old TV rewrite balance that came up earlier in response to the craniosacral balance. But instead, knowing that that's my dad's old programming, that's not my programming, that's not my experience of life. My experience, particularly where I am at the moment, living and through my networking community, is really supportive and very encouraging. And yes, Gosh, I feel better already. Okay, give me a second. Is there another balance to be done? No. So is it okay to start checking for changes? I didn't check what time I started this, but yeah, every balance takes a different amount of time. Like the first time someone comes to see me, we spend an hour and a half because I need to go through your history as well. And sorry, body's still shifting. And follow-up appointments are usually around an hour, whether you come to see me for just the scanner, whether you come and see me for kinesiology or hypnotherapy. Like if I do hypnotherapy with people, I always incorporate kinesiology because holistic health is so important. It's one thing. A client came because he wanted to stop vaping. It's like, well, we need to support your body as to why you've had this urge to keep vaping as well. Like he was able to stop smoking in the past, then happened to just pick up a vape, and then hasn't stopped. And it's like, well, what aspect of you hasn't been able to stop? Is there an emotional attachment to it still? Like it was an ex-girlfriend that introduced him to it. Is it his way of keeping energetically connected with her, emotionally connected with her? Do we need to shift those emotions first? Do we need to support the body biochemically? Because once you cut off one chemical, it's like your body starts to crave it, and that's why you go back to old habits. It's like, if we start supporting the body in other ways so that it can handle then the elimination of that other toxic chemical that you've been putting in your body. So that's why I work holistically, even when it comes to hypnotherapy. Check all the other things first before doing the hypnotherapy, because otherwise the hypnotherapy doesn't necessarily hold. I know a lot of people will say that, it does work. I'm evidence that it's worked. It has worked for me, but I still like to work with people, especially when it's biochemical aspects involved, such as smoking and vaping, because it's such a physical thing as well, biochemically. Coming back to now, reassessing where I'm at with my goals. Okay. So first goal statement: I am comfortable with my abundance of wealth, and that stayed strong. Awesome. Then I'll say the emotion of dread. It's no longer a stress. Let's say I am content. I am supported. There's all those other words that I want. I am wealthy. Okay. I'm safe to be wealthy. Okay. None of those things are a stress anymore, which is great. Then I need to check the kidneys. So I'm just put that in circuit and put that one and take that out, sorry, and then put that one in. And they're both the kidney alarm points, Sabaki. So that's why I was just checking that they're now strong. So the idea is that in the context of today's balance, I've taken the excess from the stomach and given it back to kidneys, so that after this session, my body can start the self-healing process. It takes time. So I will ask, if I don't forget, how long my body needs to go through that, because I've removed the block essentially. So from here, energy can now start flowing behind it. The fact that it's been such long-term and possibly neurological from the time I was born, and my programming are hardwired into me, I'd imagine that there are lots of other minuses around as well. So all of these things will now start flowing as well. But as a consequence of that, my body may start to detox, and I may get detox type symptoms, such as a rash or a runny nose, little niggly pain. But then the niggly pain is like the toxins maybe getting stuck, so I just have to move to keep things flowing as well. Okay, so checked my emotion, we've checked the overall thing. Now make sure that everything else is holding. And do I need to do any future pacing? Is there homework reinforcement that I need to do? Do I need to go back to the TV rewrite? So I will go back and do the TV rewrite for myself after this, so I can continue the work and achieve my goals. And is a follow-up balance needed to continue to work towards this goal for me? Oh, that's a yes. So I need to do another balance. And then I'll ask when. Days in weeks, in a week's time. Okay. But for my clients, I find there's a great variety in the time between sessions. It could be 1 week, especially after your first one. It could be 1 month, it could be 2 months, it could be 3 months. But on average, it's like 3 to 5 sessions per goal. And those 3 to 5 sessions could be spread out over an entire year even. And I find it's just so much more cost effective for my clients than other means. And there is usually like an end, but some clients do like to come for a maintenance and every 3 months just to keep their bodies and their minds and their energy in alignment to be able to live their best life, just as you take your car in, even if there's nothing wrong with it, but to make sure nothing goes wrong. It's always better to be proactive and preventative rather than having to be reactive in the future once something's gone wrong. So often, as you know, that can lead to more expense. So like not looking after your teeth. For me, I didn't realize that my calcium, for example, wasn't depositing into my bones, it was depositing into my tissue. And as a consequence, my physical bones had been suffering, my teeth suffered, and I had to pay a lot of money. So we don't want to end up there. Even though I was doing balances, I just didn't know that wasn't there. So maybe if I'd been to somebody else, it would have helped. I think that's it. So yeah, if you've enjoyed this, leave a comment below on my YouTube page. And if you have any questions, reach out. If you'd like to make a booking, go to my website, www.empoweringhealth.clinic, and then /booking, or just from the homepage, there's a booking button at the top as well, and just choose new client or return customer. And thank you for your time. Thank you for staying with me to the end. Wishing you all optimal health and well-being. And I'm Anne Barrett of Empowering Health.